वासुदेवाय।
ॐ नमो भगवते 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 वासुदेवाय।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव
कुंज बिहारी।
गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपीजन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
यमुना तीरावनचारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद श्री राधे।
जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद श्री राधे।
जय निताय सचिनंदन गौर हरि। जय निताय सचिनंदन गौर हरि।
जय निताय सचिनंदन गौर हरि। जय निताय सचिनंदन गौर हरि।
जय प्रभुपदा जय Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada
Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol,
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतश्री श्रीमद् केसरीवाल श्री भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय, प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोपिनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय, वृंदावन धाम की जय, मथुरा धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, गंगा माई की जय, यमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, सामवेद भक्तवृंद की जय. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Shri Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vishnu Bhagavate Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshitarine. Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanastu Krishne Matirastu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Today we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita, chapter 8, which is Attaining the Supreme Akshara Brahma Yoga, and text 21 to 25. So text 21. Avyakto Akshara iti yuktas.
Avyakto Akshara iti yuktas.
Tamahu paramam gatim.
Tamahu paramam gatim.
Yam prapya na nivartante.
Yam prapya na nivartante.
Tadhama paramam mama.
Tadhama paramam mama.
So the word avyaktaha,
Avyaktaha,
unmanifested,
unmanifested.
aksharaha,
Aksharaha,
infallible,
infallible.
iti,
Iti,
thus,
thus.
uktaha,
Uktaha,
is said,
is said.
tam,
Tam,
that,
that.
ahu,
Ahu,
is known,
is known.
paramam,
Paramam,
the ultimate,
the ultimate.
gatim,
Gatim,
destination,
destination.
yam,
Yam,
which,
which.
prapya,
Prapya,
gaining,
gaining.
na,
Na,
never,
never.
nivartante,
Nivartante,
come back,
come back.
tat,
Tat,
that,
that.
dhama,
Dharma,
abode,
abode.
paramam,
Paramam,
supreme,
supreme.
mama,
Mama,
mine.
mine.
So translation, that which
That-
the Vedantists
That which the Vedantists
describe as unmanifest,
describe as unmanifest
and infallible,
and infallible.
that which is known
That which is known
as a supreme destination,
as the supreme destination.
that place
That place
from which, having attained,
having attained,
one never returns.
one never returns.
That is my supreme abode.
That is my supreme abode.
So here Krishna is continuing to explain about the transcendental nature of the Dhamma, Tad Dhamma Paramam Mama. So Avyakta is something that is not seen, but it does not mean that it does not exist. So that is the definition of Avyakta. Vyakta means that which can be seen directly. If we look at this room here, there is a lot of Vyakta items that can be seen, and there are Avyakta items as well, right? So, for example, the air that is coming in, we are not able to see the air, but we know that the air exists. Like the oxygen has to come in, and oxygen is coming in, but we don't see the air. Similarly, there will be so many microorganisms that exist. We are not seeing, they are all avyakta as well, but they exist. So similarly, what Krishna is saying here is avyakta akshara iti uktas. So Krishna is continuing to explain the nature of the spiritual world. So before we had discussed this, A Brahma Bhona Loka Punaravartino Arjuna. Mamupete tu Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. Krishna mentioned in the previous verses that we discussed, Krishna mentioned that from Brahmaloka onwards, down to all the planetary systems, there is Punar Avartina. Punar Avartina means
Repeat.
one is continuously taking birth and continuously dying. So that is not our original nature. Our original nature is that na jayate mriyate va kadachit. That we were never born, and because we were never born, we will never die. So that is our original nature, but somehow or other, because of there is Anadi Bahirmukha Jeev. It is mentioned in the scriptures. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned that the Jiva, the living entity, Anadi, without any beginning, it has been Bahirmukha. Bahirmukha means not knowing their original eternal nature as an eternal part and parcel of Krishna. It is mentioned therefore that Anadi Bahirmukha Jeev Krishna Bhuli Gela. It is said in Bengali there. So what it is saying that since time immemorial, the living entity has somehow or other been in an unconditioned state of existence, a conditioned state of existence. Ateo Krishna Ved Puran Karega. Therefore, the Vedas and Puranas are existing, like the Mahabharata is there, which is Purana, and Bhagavad-Gita is there, which is part of Mahabharata. Sarvopanishido Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandana Partho Vatsat Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gita Mritam Mahat. It is mentioned in the Gita Mahatmya Shloka, it is mentioned that they compare all the Upanishads like the cows. And they say that Krishna is the milkman, Dogdha, Gopalanandana. Partho Vatsa, the calf is Arjuna. So generally they say that before they take the milk out of the cow, they actually give the milk to the calf first. Why? Because when the milk is given to the calf, the milk will be produced profusely from the cow. Because of the nature of motherly affection that the cow has for its calf, it will give profuse milk. So basically, before the milk is taken from the cow, the calf is getting the first milk from there. So exactly the comparison here given is that Partha, the son of Pritha, Arjuna, is like the Vatsa. Vatsa means the calf. So beautiful example about Gita. So all the Upanishads are like the cows. Krishna is the milkman. Arjuna is the calf, getting the milk for the first time. Sudhir Bhokta, the people who are taking it, absorbing the message of Bhagavad Gita are Sudhi. Dhi means intelligence. Su means good intelligence. So the people who have got good intelligence, they are absorbing this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat. And the milk itself is the Gitamrita, the Amrita of Gita, the nectarian ocean of Gita. So this is what, when we are engaged in discussing these discussions, we are engaging our mind and our intelligence in trying to understand this. So when we absorb our mind and intelligence in understanding Krishna's words, what is happening is that is being purified. So this is what Krishna says. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, Shrunvatam Swakatha Krishna. So when we are hearing about Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana, that activity by itself is Punya. It is very pious. So sometimes people say that, why do you want to do separate worship? You just serve the humankind. It is like doing the worship of the Lord. So that is fine. That is right. There is also this direct worship as well. So basically, they are not mutually exclusive. Generally, people say that you do the service of the humankind, and then you don't need to do any devotional service, because by serving the humankind, you're engaging. You're serving. Yes. So the important thing here to understand is that when one is purifying oneself by engaging in these activities, that purification is automatically being distributed to the whole world. So the first person, so basically, even if you look at it from the perspective of Advaita Vedanta, in Advaita Vedanta, the whole concept of this Turiya, the fourth state, it is called. And the fourth state, like we have discussed this before, Jagrata, Swapna and Sushupti. Waking state, dream state and deep sleep state. And then the fourth Turiya is the state that is constantly there across all the other states. So this is the basic nature of our existence. So like for example, when we are going into the deep sleep, do we know anything that is going on in the world? We are totally unaware of everything that is going on in the world. But when we wake up, the world starts for us. When we are in deep sleep, the world has gone away from us. Many things would be happening, but we are totally unaware of it. But when we wake up, the awareness comes, the consciousness comes, and then the world comes into existence. This is the Advaita Vedanta principle. So basically, when we purify ourselves, this is a purification process. When there is natural attraction for Krishna, this is Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabonai. It is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita that this love for Krishna, it's not something that is external to us. It is what we are made up of. Our original constitutional position is that we are full of love for Krishna. But what is happening is because Anadi, without any beginning, we have been not in relationship with the Lord. And again, there are these two theories as well that exist. There is a theory which says that the living entity has fallen down from the spiritual world, and then there is one philosophy that says that the living entity has always been, since time immemorial, the living entity has been not with the Lord, in the sense that not recognizing the Lord. It's quite interesting. So what happens is, so when the whole universe is getting destroyed, then the only person who is existing is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aham evasam evagre nanyad yet sadasat param paschad aham yad etacha yo vishishyate sosmi aham. Krishna says to Brahma in Srimad Bhagavatam, he says that I was there in the beginning, aham evasam evagre. There was nothing else at the time, nor truth, na sad asat param. There was nothing else. Paschad aham yad etacha. What exists after everything goes, sosmi aham. You avashishyate sosmi aham. What is left is again the Lord. So basically what happens is the conditioned living entities, when they are with the Lord, they don't realize that they are with the Lord. Because they are in the conditioned state of existence, they don't know that they are with the Lord. But actually everyone in the beginning, in the middle and in the end, everyone is with the Lord. That's the nature, that's the basic nature. So the whole concept of us taking this birth in this material world is, one of the examples that can be taken is that of people going to take exam in the university. So we go into the university, we do 3 or 4 years or whatever number of years in the university, and then we graduate from the university. And once we graduate, then we go into the world and we work. We get employment, right? So this example of us in the material world is like the living entity is taking the examination, and if they pass the examination, they are knowing that they are eternal. They come back to their eternal nature. But if they are not passing the examination, unfortunately, that cycle of examination will continue until one actually passes. Similar to a university degree. Like if we cannot get a degree unless we pass all the years, whatever is the whole duration of the syllabus. So this is the nature of existence in the material world. So therefore the verse here is Avyakta Akshara iti yuktas. Akshara means, so there is Kshara and Akshara. Kshara means that which gets destroyed. Akshara means that which can never get destroyed. So what are the things that can get destroyed? The things that can get destroyed are the things that get created in the first place. So when there is creation, there is destruction. Where there is day, there is night. When there is happiness, there has to be distress as well. So this is the dvandva. So this material world is dvandva. So that is why there is a beautiful verse in Bhagavad-Gita. Krishna says, what are the qualities of a person who has surrendered unto Krishna? The first is nirmana moha. The person does not have any pride, and the person does not have any attachment. Because the person knows that this is like for example, if someone is, this is an example we have given before as well. If someone is an actor and doing an acting, when they are doing the acting, they probably are in that character. But when the acting is done, they will come to their normal self. Right? So exactly the same way, when we are in this material world, we are in a particular position of a particular acting. It's not that it's artificial. It is what we are made up of. Our external is made up of that. So, but our internal is always connected with Krishna. That is what we are made up of. So this akshara means the material body is kshara. Kshara means it can be destroyed. Because it gets created, it has to be destroyed at a certain point in time. But our original nature, which is what, so basically the consciousness, the dehi, Krishna mentions it as dehi. Dehi means the proprietor of the body. So dehi nosmi yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara. Krishna says, because there is the proprietor of the body within the body, there is childhood, youth and old age, tatha dehantaram prapti. Similarly, one has to give up this body. Krishna says, Dhiras tatra na mohyati. Dhira means a sober person, therefore does not get mohyati. Mohyati means bewildered. So this change is part and parcel of this material creation. Constantly, every moment there is change happening. But our original existence is totally unchangeable. It is Satchidananda. That is what is described. But Sat means it is eternally existing. Chit means it is eternally conscious. And Ananda means it is eternally blissful. So this is our original nature. Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha, and we are part and parcels of Krishna. We are also Satchidananda. But when we identify Mana Shashtani Indriyani Prakriti Sthani Kashati, and Krishna mentions in Bhagavad-Gita that all the living entities are my eternal part and parcels. Mama eva amsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana, eternally. Manaha shashtani indriyani prakriti sthani kashati. Krishna says, when we identify ourselves with the mind and the five senses, immediately there is struggle in this material universe. Because immediately I am thinking that, I am this. That is why there is a beautiful verse. Narada Muni says, definition of bhakti. He gives a definition what is actually bhakti. Bhakti, the first step in bhakti is sarva upadhi vinirmukta. We take away all designations. So I am this, I am that. I'm from this country. I am from this family. These are the relatives. All these. If we take away upadhi, all these upadhi, then we know that we are very pure. Tat paratvena nirmala. Then hrishikena hrishikesha sevana. Then we engage our purified senses in the service of the master of the senses. Krishna's another name is Hrishikesha. Hrishika Isha. Hrishika means senses, Isha means the master, the Lord. So, the natural way in which the senses should be engaged is in the service of Krishna. Because he is actually the Bhoktaram Yajya Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Now, Krishna mentions in Bhagavad-Gita that he is the Bhoktaram Yajya Tapasam. He is the actual enjoyer of all the sacrifices and penances that everyone does. So, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam, that he is the best friend of all the living entities. So, if Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, if one knows these three things, one will become totally peaceful. First is that Krishna is actually the Bhokta, the enjoyer of all sacrifices and penances, Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. The second thing is Krishna is the Lord of all the universes, spiritual and material universes. And the third is Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. He is the best friend of all the living entities. So if one knows these three things, Gyatva Mam Shanti Vrichati. Krishna says one attains peace. There is another place Krishna says Ashantasya Kuta Sukham. If one is not peaceful, how can one be happy? Nasti buddhir ayuktasya nachayuktasya bhavana nacha bhavayata shanti ashantasya kuta sukha. What Krishna says there is, if one's intelligence is not directed towards Krishna, that is called ayukta. Yukta means one is concentrating one's mind and intelligence on the Lord. If one is not concentrating, it is ayukta. So Krishna says, when the buddhi is not concentrating on the Lord, nasti buddhir ayuktasya, there is no connection with the Lord. Nacha yuktasya bhavana, nacha bhavayata shanti. When there is no connection with the Lord, there is no peacefulness. Ashantasya kuta sukham. When there is no peacefulness, how can there be happiness? But the unfortunate state that we have created in this contemporary world is that the state of flux seems to be the state of happiness. The natural state of peacefulness seems alien to us, unfortunately. The reason is because we are totally identified with our externals. When we are totally identified with the externals, and the external is always in a state of flux, but the internal is totally not disturbed by anything, and it is totally in a pure state of total bliss. So, this is what is Akshara. Akshara is our original nature. Avyakta Akshara iti yuktas tam ahu paramam gatim. Krishna says that is the supreme destination of all of us. Yam prapyana navartante tad dhamam paramam. Krishna says, once we attain that state, that is the Paramadhama. Then one, even if one is coming back to the material world, one is not influenced by the material world. The example that is given is Padma Patra Ivambasa. The lotus leaf, it might stay in a very filthy or muddy surface, but it itself is not affected by anything. So when someone is in that state of existence of pure connection with Krishna, then one might be in very difficult circumstances, or one might be in a very filthy place as well, but one is not affected by it. It is totally independent of it. So that is what is this verse. Then we go to the next one. Purusha sa parapatha,
Purusha sa parapatha,
bhaktya labhyastvananyaya,
Bhaktya labhyastvananyaya,
Yasyantasthani bhutani,
Yasyantasthani bhutani,
Yena sarvam idam tatam.
Yena sarvam idam tatam.
What about it? Purushaha,
Purushaha,
the Supreme Personality.
the Supreme Personality.
Saha,
Saha,
He.
He.
Paraha,
Paraha,
the Supreme.
the Supreme.
Supreme.
Than whom no one is greater.
Than whom no one is greater.
Partha,
Partha,
O son of Pritha.
O son of Pritha.
Bhaktya,
Bhaktya,
by devotional
by
service.
devotional service.
Labhyaha,
Labhyaha,
can be achieved.
can be achieved.
Tu,
To,
but.
but,
Ananyaya,
Ananya,
unalloyed,
unalloyed,
undeviating.
undeviating.
Yasya,
Yasya,
whom.
whom,
Antasthani,
Antasthani,
within.
within,
Bhutani,
Bhutani,
all of this material manifestation.
all of this material manifestation.
Yena,
Yena,
by whom.
by whom,
Sarvam,
Sarvam,
all.
all.
Idam,
Idam,
whatever we can see.
whatever we can see.
Tatam,
Tatam,
is pervaded.
is pervaded.
The translation is the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead,
Who is greater than all,
who is greater than all,
is attainable
is attainable
by unalloyed devotional
by
devotion.
by unalloyed devotion.
Although he is present
Although he is present
in his abode,
in his abode,
he is all pervading,
he is all pervading,
and everything is situated
and everything is situated
within him.
within him.
Okay, so here, so in the previous verse, Krishna was describing about the transcendental abode. Then in this verse, he is describing about the person, Purusha. Who is that Purusha? Paraha. He is the supreme. And who is he talking to? Who is Krishna talking to? Partha, the son of Pritha. Pritha is Kunti Devi's another name. So son of Kunti Devi, Partha, Arjuna. Bhaktya labhyas tva ananyaya. So bhaktya, we when we discussed in the previous verse, we discussed the definition of bhakti. Bhakti, there is another definition of bhakti as well. The definition that we discussed before was when one is taking off all the designations, then one becomes pure, and then one engages the purified senses in the service of Krishna. That is one definition. there is another definition, bhakti para isha anubhava. So bhakti means one is experiencing the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it is an experience. It is not, so bhakti is not something that is, one has to actually engage in bhakti. Then one will, just like they say that, you cannot know the taste of anything if you don't eat it. So when we eat it, then we know the taste of something. So exactly the same way, unless and until one engages in bhakti, one will not know the taste of bhakti. That is ruchi. Ruchi is very high stage in bhakti. What happens in ruchi is that one gets a taste. Then when one gets a taste, what happens when one gets the taste for something? One wants to experience it every time, right? Yes. That is what taste means. One becomes attached to the taste. So this is what Krishna says, that Maya Satta Manapartha. He says that attach your mind to me. Yogam Yunjam Madashrayam. Do the yoga by taking shelter of me. Asamshayam Samagram Mam. Krishna says, undoubtedly and in full, you will know me. Yatha Jnasasi Tachunu. He says, then you know me, please hear from me that way. So this is bhakti. Bhakti means there is a bhakta, so there is a devotee. Bhakti means devotion, and there is Bhagwan. There is a Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this three has to exist in bhakti. And bhakti, this is what we are saying. Bhakti is para isha anubhava. We experience directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And when we experience the Supreme Personality of Godhead, viraktir anyatra syat. Automatically there is detachment from everything else. So this is what is Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janati Asho Vairagyam Jnanam Chayat Ahetukam. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam that when one engages in Vasudeva's Bhakti, Krishna's Bhakti, Bhakti Yoga Prayojita, very soon automatically one gets Vairagya and Jnana. Generally what happens is, in the Jnana Marga, when one is saying that Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya, one is thinking that there is only Brahman and everything else is illusion. In that state, there is only Brahman. There is nothing else. So where is bhakti then? When there is only one, there cannot be bhakti. Because there is only one. For bhakti to exist, there has to be, as we said, there has to be a bhakta and there has to be a Bhagwan. There has to be a devotee and there has to be the Supreme Person towards whom that love is being expressed. So this is the difference between the Bhakti Marga and Jnana Marga. The Bhakti Marga is where one understands one's position as an eternal part and parcel of the Lord. And one engages in service of the Lord in that way. That is Bhakti. The Jnana Marga is where one actually notices only the Nirguna Brahman. So there is a Nirguna Brahman and there is a Saguna Brahman. Nirguna Brahman is the Brahman without any qualities. So that is the Jnanis. The Jnanis want Nirguna Brahman. The Bhaktas want Saguna Brahman. The Brahman with qualities. So that is Krishna. Venum Kwanantam Aravinda Dalaya Taksham. It is mentioned in Brahma Samhita. So he is holding the flute on his hands, and his eyes are like the petals of the lotus flower. Aravinda Dalaya Taksham. Barhavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam. He is wearing the peacock feathers on his head, and his bodily complexion is that like a newly formed cloud. Sitam Buddha Sundarangam. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. Millions and millions of cupids, when they come together, that beauty also surpasses. Krishna's beauty surpasses that beauty. Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Govinda, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is Bhakti. In Bhakti, the Brahman has got this transcendental divine form, and the Bhakta is constantly in love with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is what is Purushasya Parapartha. Bhaktya Labhyas Tva Ananyaya. The Labhya means gains. One gains at Bhakti. What kind of Bhakti? Ananyaya. Now, Ananya means, Ananya is a very important word here. That means that continuous. There is no break. They give the example of pouring oil from one vessel to another vessel. When we are pouring oil, when we look at the oil, there is no break in the oil. It's continuously it goes, right? So that is Ananya. Ananya means that remembrance of Krishna is continuously going on in the background. One might be doing lots and lots of different things because one has to, in the material world, one has to do things. Whatever one is supposed to do in that particular form of body. But the background is always connected with Krishna. This is what the gopis were very beautifully, like they were the housewives. They had so many work and everything, but their mind was always, this is what Macchitta Madgat Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad-Gita that this is the state, their minds are constantly absorbed in me, their whole life force is absorbed in me, Madgat Prana. Because when the mind is absorbed, automatically the life force will also get absorbed. Bodhayanta Parasparam, they're talking to each other. About what? Kathayantascha Mam. They're talking about me, Krishna says. Nityam. Constantly they're talking about me. How they're talking about me? Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. With full tushyanti, full satisfaction and with full blissfulness. So this is the nature of, and this is the natural state of existence. But somehow or other, because we have been taking birth after birth after birth, the only thing that unfortunately we see is our external existence. It is so unfortunate that this knowledge is possible to understand only in the human form of life. In no other form it is possible. Therefore, Prahlad Maharaj actually says, Durlabham Manusham Janmam. He says that this human form of life is very rarely attained. Tad dhruvam arthadam. Tadapi adhruvam arthadam. So, Prahlad Maharaj is saying that it is adhruva. Dhruva means that which exists always. But this material body is adhruva. It can go at any time. It can go out of existence. But it is artha. It is a very important resource. It is like how can one give value to a human form? You cannot give a value, right? Unfortunately, due to some accident or something, if something happens and the government gives some money to the kith and kin of the survivor, the survivors basically. That is just, what is that? It's a token. You cannot give a value. It's invaluable. So this is what is said. So here in this particular verse, Ananya is a very important word to understand. It should be constant. And then the next two lines here, Yasyantas Sthani Bhutani. This is very beautiful here. The whole existence is within the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mat Sthani Sarva Bhutani. Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina. Mat sthani sarva bhutani na chaham teshu avastita. Krishna mentioned in Bhagavad-Gita that, so basically, we have discussed about this different energies of the Lord, right? There is an Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti and Tatastha Shakti. There is an internal potency of the Lord, the external potency of the Lord and the marginal potency. So everything is the potency of the Lord. So for example, the sun's rays and the heat coming from the sun is simultaneously one and different from the sun itself. The sun is there, and because the sun is there, the heat and light are coming from the sun. Exactly the same way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is existing, because of which the whole world is existing. So that way, everything is within him, in that sense. That is what is Krishna saying here. Yasyantas sthani bhutani and yena sarvamidam tata. Yena sarvamidam tata means it is because of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that everything else is existing. Because it is his energy. At the end of the day, it is his energy. So he is energetic and everything. So there is Purusha, there is Krishna, and then there is Prakriti. Prakriti is all the energy of the Lord, of the Purusha. So that is the description of the verse 22, then verse 23. Yatra kale tva anavrittim.
Yatra kale tva anavrittim.
Avrittim chaiva yoginaha.
Avrittim chaiva yoginaha.
Prayata yanti tam kalam.
Prayata yanti tam kalam.
Vakshyami bharatarshava.
Vakshyami bharatarshava.
Word yatra.
Yatra.
At which.
At which.
Kale.
Kale.
Time.
Time.
To. And. Anavrittim.
Anavrittim.
No return.
No return.
Avrittim.
Avrittim.
Return.
Return.
Cha. Also. Eva. Certainly. Yoginaha.
Yoginaha.
Different kinds of mystics.
Different kind of mystics.
Prayataha.
Prayataha.
Having departed.
Having departed.
Yanti.
Yanti.
Attain.
Tam.
That.
Kalam.
Time. Vakshyami.
Vakshyami.
I shall describe. Bharatarshava.
Bharatarshava.
O best of the Bharatas.
O best of the Bharatas.
So, O best of the Bharatas.
O best of the Bharatas.
I shall now explain
I shall now explain
to you the different times. At which. Passing away from this world.
Passing away from this world.
The yogi does.
The yogi does.
Or does not come back.
Or does not come back.
Okay, so this is now Krishna is talking about. So it's all logical. If you look at this, the first words that we discussed, he was talking about the abode, which is avyakta akshara iti uktas, which is not manifest to our material existence, but it does exist, which is akshara, which eternally exists. It cannot be destroyed. So he talked about that transcendental abode. Then he talked about the Supreme Person, to whom one has to have unalloyed devotional service. Now he's talking about the different avritti and anavritti. So anavritti means yatra kaletva anavrittim avrittim chaiva yogina prayata yanti tam kalam vakshyami bharatarshava. Vakshyami means I'm telling this to you. So what I'm telling this? Yatra kaletva anavrittim. When one leaves one's body, which time is a good time to leave the body for the yogi, and which time is not the good time to leave the body. So for the yogi. But here the important point is, what we have to understand here is, this is for someone who has not developed their pure devotional service to the Lord. When one has developed pure devotional service, antakalicha mam eva smaranutva kalivaram. So at the time of death, one remembers the Lord. So the important thing is, so if someone has got a pure devotional service to the Lord, this thing does not apply to them. This thing applies to the people who have not developed the pure devotional service. So for them, the time at which they leave the body is important. The duration, there is a period. So one particular period is auspicious for leaving the body, another particular period is not auspicious for leaving the body. And the interesting thing here is that it would probably depend on what activities they have done in their life as well. So if someone has done very pious activities in their life, obviously they will be departing during the auspicious time. If someone has done a lot of sinful activities, unfortunately they will be departing during the inauspicious time. And so this is what, here
why that will happen?
It is dependent on our karma. So whatever karma we are doing, basing on the karma, we are generating the reactions. So that reaction is actually, so there is this aprarabdha karma, aprarabdha phalam papam, kutam bijam phalonmukham. There are three different ways of karma that develops. So there is aprarabdha, means we have done the work and it has not started fructifying. Kutam bijam phalonmukham. Kuta Kuta means it has become a seed. It has started to become a seed. Bija means it actually becomes a seed. Phalonmukham means it starts giving the results. So there are different. So all our activities are in different stages of getting reaction towards us. Some activities are we are just performing now, and because we are performing now, the result is awaited later. But some are we have performed in this life many much time back or in the previous lives. So all these things are accumulating, and they are. That's why Krishna says yajna artha karmana anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita that all the activities are to be performed as a devotional service to Yajna Purusha, that is Vishnu, Krishna. So when one performs all the activities as an offering to the Lord, then there is no reaction. One is not getting any reaction. But when one performs the activities with an intention of getting a result, that I am performing this so that I get that back in return. Unfortunately, our whole material conditioned existence is based on this principle of I will do pious activities so that I get pious credits in return. And when I get pious credits in return, I can have a luxurious life in this life and in the afterlife. So, but if we know that this is just like a cloth, this body is like a cloth, then is one really concerned, like one can get a new cloth, right? If the cloth is torn, one can get a new cloth. But if oneself is injured, that is very difficult, isn't it? So somehow this understanding is very clear in someone who has surrendered unto the Lord. They are very clear that all this is an instrument. Nimitta matram bhava sabyasachi, Krishna says. So you become an instrument to Arjuna. So when we perform activities as an instrument of the Lord, then who is going to get the result? Lord himself is going to get the result. When Lord himself gets the result, he has no effect because he is transcendental. He is actually the controller of everything. So here what is happening is Krishna is going to describe in the next two verses what is the auspicious time to leave the body and what is the inauspicious time. But this is for someone who is not in devotional service to Krishna. But someone who is a devotee who loves Krishna, for them it does not matter when they leave. Any time they leave, there is no problem because the mind is fixed on Krishna. So when the mind is fixed on Krishna, antakalecha mameva, at the time of death. So yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tejati ante kalevaram tam tam nivayati kaunteya sadatad bhava bhava. Krishna mentions that whatever one remembers at the time of death, one becomes that in the next life. So if one remembers Krishna, then one does not become Krishna, but one will go to Krishna Loka. For someone who is in the Jnana Marga, for them it is like becoming one with Brahman. So then that is valid for them. But for a devotee, there is always this. There is Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya, and Sarshti. Salokya being in the same planet as the Lord, Samipya being near the Lord, Sarshti is having same opulence as the Lord, and Salokya, Samipya, Sarupya. Sarupya is having the same form as the Lord. But then there is Sayujya as well. Sayujya is for Jnanis. The Jnani, because Jnanis, they are attached to the Nirguna Brahman. They are attached to this just Brahman. Whereas the Bhakta says that please remove your glaring effulgence so that we can see your transcendental divine face. There is a prayer in Ishopanishad. It says, Hiranmayena patrena satyasya pahitamukham tattvam pushan apavrano satya dharmaya drishtaye. Very beautiful verse. What it is saying is, oh Lord, please remove your glaring effulgence so that we can see your transcendental divine face. So that is the devotee's attitude. Whereas the attitude of the person who is Jnani, Nirguna Brahman, is that they are satisfied with that, that oneness. They don't want anything else other than that. But this is for the people who are in the stage of conditioned existence. This is valid. So let's see the verse 24 then. Agnirjyotir Shukla
Agnirjyotir Shukla
Shanmasa Uttarayanam
Shanmasa Uttarayanam
Tatra Prayata Gachanti
Tatra Prayata Gachanti
Brahma Brahma Vidojana.
Brahma Brahma Vidojana.
So word by word, Agni,
Agni,
fire,
fire,
Jyoti,
Jyoti,
light,
light,
Aha,
Aha,
day,
day,
Shukla,
Shukla,
the white fortnight,
the white fortnight,
Shat Masaha,
Shatmasaha,
the 6 months,
The
6 months,
Uttarayanam,
Uttarayanam.
when the sun passes on the northern side,
When the sun passes on the northern side.
Tatra,
Tatra,
there,
there,
Prayataha,
Prayataha.
those who pass away,
Those who pass away.
Gachanti,
Gachanti.
go,
go,
Brahma,
Brahma,
to the absolute,
to the absolute,
Brahma Vidaha,
Brahma Vidaha,
who know the absolute,
Who know the absolute.
Jana,
Jana.
persons.
Persons.
So translation here is, those who know the Supreme Brahman
Those who know the Supreme Brahman.
attain that Supreme
attain that Supreme
by passing away
By passing away.
from the world
From the world.
during the influence of
During the influence of.
the fiery God
The fiery God.
in the light
in the light
at an auspicious moment of the day,
at an auspicious moment of the day,
during the fortnight of the waxing moon,
During the fortnight of the waxing moon.
or during the 6 months
Or during the 6 months.
when the sun travels in the north.
When the sun travels in the north.
Right, so this is, it's such a, if you look at all these verses in Bhagavad-Gita, there is so much logic, there's so much information in this. So here, Krishna is talking about the way auspicious time in which one can leave the body. So here, when we are saying one can leave the body, one is talking about, the soul. The soul is actually leaving the body. So that is the Uttarayana. So this time is Uttarayana. When it is bright, the bright part of the year, that is Uttarayana. And the dark part of the year is Dakshinayana, it is called. When the sun is in the southern hemisphere. So sun is in the northern hemisphere and sun is in the southern. So what Krishna is saying here is, those are the conditions, if one is, leaving the body during those conditions, Uttarayana conditions, then one is attaining a more auspicious next life. So that is what is mentioned here. If you look at the conclusion of the purport here by Srila Prabhupada, however, for the pure devotee in Krishna consciousness, there is no fear of returning, whether he leaves the body at an auspicious or inauspicious moment, by accident or arrangement. So it's kind of really important to understand that part, what Srila Prabhupada has mentioned. Okay, so this is the Agnir Jyotir Shukla Shanmasa Uttarayanam Tatra Prayata Gachanti Brahma Brahma Vidojana. So this is what is the auspicious time. Then we go to the verse 25. Dhumo ratris tatha Krishna.
Dhumo ratris tatha Krishna.
Shanmasa Dakshinayanam.
Shanmasa Dakshinayanam.
Tatra Chandra Masam Jyotir.
Tatra Chandra Masam Jyotir.
Yogi Prapya Nivartate.
Yogi Prapya Nivartate.
So the word Dhuma.
Dhuma.
Smoke. Ratri. Night. Tatha. Also. Krishna. The fortnight of the dark moon.
The fortnight of the dark moon.
Shat Masa. The 6 months. Dakshinayanam. When the sun passes on the southern side. Tatra. There. Chandramasam. The moon planet. Jyoti. The light. Yogi. The mystic. Prapya. Achieving. Nivartate. Comes back.
Comes back.
So So the translation is the mystic who passes away
The mystic who passes away
from this world
from this world
during the smoke,
during the smoke,
the night,
the night,
the fortnight of the waning moon,
the fortnight of the waning moon,
or the 6 months when
or
the
6 months when
the sun passes to the south,
the sun passes to the south,
reaches the moon planet,
reaches the moon planet,
but again comes back.
but again comes back.
Right. So this is the Dakshinaya. Okay. So this is the darker periods. So when one is actually unfortunately living during the darker periods, one is coming back. Nivartate.
Darker period is winter.
Yes. Yeah. Dakshinaya. Yeah.
Okay.
Now north side.
This is the Uttarayan. Yeah. So generally the Sankranti time is the time when the sun is going into the Sankramam to the Uttarayan, to the northern hemisphere. That's when. So yeah. So after it said about Bhishma Dev that Bhishma Dev lied in Sharishaya until the Uttarayan. It is said about him. So because
for him one day.
Yeah.
Uttarayanam one day, Dakshinayam one day. One day, night and day.
Yeah, so he actually lied in the Sharashaya, that bed of arrows. He lied until the Uttarayan actually started, and then he decided that he'll give up his body. So he was like, one of the things about someone like Bhishma Dev is that he is always remembering Krishna. So Krishna says that Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paripasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. What it means is Ananyas chintayanto mam. Constantly, if one is remembering me, Ananyas chintayanto mam nityayukta upasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam ye jana pariupasate. Pariupasate means always worshipping me constantly. Krishna says, Tesham nitya abhiyuktana yogakshemam vahamyaham. I carry to them whatever they lack. Krishna says, I provide them whatever they lack. This is really wonderful. So this reciprocal relationship is just amazing between the Lord and his devotees. It's called Ye Yatha Mam Prapadyante Tam Sateva Bhajamyaham. Krishna mentions whatever way one is prapadyante, surrendering onto me, I also reciprocate to them in the same way. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshyosi na priya ye bhajanti tume bhaktya mahite teshu chapiha. Krishna says, I am equal to everyone. No one is very dear to me, or I am not antagonistic to anyone. But whatever way one comes to me, I reciprocate to them accordingly. The example that is given is that of the rain falling. Rain falls on the rock, rain also falls on the fertile land. It is the same rain falling everywhere. Rain is not distinguishing anyone. But the fertile land, because it is fertile, it is able to produce crops. The rock, because it is hard, it is not producing anything. So the rain is falling equally. So this is what the Lord's mercy is falling on everyone equally. But whatever power one has to absorb that costless mercy, one is in that connection with the Lord. And that power of absorption comes when there is amanitva, that one is humble. One says that, Lord, everything is yours. So you can use me in whatever way you want to use. Manas deha deha jo kichu mora arpilu tora pade nanda kishora. Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, he says, he's a very, he's like a pure devotee of the Lord. He's the father of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is a guru of Srila Prabhupada. And so it's all Guru Parampara is that. So it's quite interesting. His life is quite interesting. He was a very famous lawyer actually, and he had he has many children, but he still found time to remember Krishna, constantly.
Yes.
This is the thing, it is ahaituki apratihata. There is a very beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam. It says that savai pumsam paro dharmo. What the pumsa means for all the people. Paro dharma, the most supreme dharma for everyone is what? Yato bhaktir adhokshaje. When one does loving devotional service to whom? Adha krita akshaja. One who cannot be seen by blunt material senses. So the eyes cannot see the Lord. One can see the deity. A person who has surrendered unto the Lord will see the supreme person there. He will not see a deity of stone there. He will actually see Krishna personally present there. So one has to have that eyes. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena. The eyes that are anointed with the salve of love for Krishna. The kajal as they call it. So that kajal is the love for the Lord. And so then one can see the Lord everywhere. Santa Sadaiva, and in the heart as well. Okay? Because the Lord is there in the heart of everywhere. Sarvasya chaham kriti sannivishta. So this is, so if we want to kind of take the main part from this verse, 5 verses that we discussed. The first was about avyakta akshara. We talked about the supreme abode which is not manifest to us, but it exists. It is indestructible. Then he talked about Purushasa Parapartha. He talked about his own, the supreme person and the Bhaktya Labhya Swananya. Then he said, I'm going to tell you about the different ways in which when one passes, gives up the body. In this particular state, during this time when one passes, one does not return. And during the other time, the Dakshinayana, when one passes, one has to come back. So, very beautifully explained these 5 verses. The important thing here is that Bhaktya Labhyastva Ananyaya. If you want to just remember one thing from this 5 verses, it is that Ananya Bhakti. That somehow or other, if we can have that constant stream of love for the Lord, irrespective of the situation that we are existing in. That is the goal of human form of life. So with that, thank you very much for listening. If there's any comments or questions, we can discuss.
So when we are talking about the moon planet, is it the moon of this earth, or there are other moons also in the solar system?
It is, yeah, I think from our perspective, the thing is, it is like there is one, so there is a Vedic astrology. There is a Vedic astrology or astronomy, I think. It's not astrology. Astrology is the prediction of the future. Astronomy is how the planets are situated. So Vedic astronomy has got a different explanation of how this world structure is. Mm-hmm. It is different from the explanation that the science is giving to us.
The 14 planetary system.
Yeah. So from that perspective, that moon is not the moon that we are knowing it from the perspective of the contemporary science.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when we call that sun travels from north to south, but actually it's earth that travels. Or in Vedic, then sun is only traveling.
Yeah, sun is also traveling. Like if you look at the whole galaxy, the galaxy, the whole Vedic astronomy is different. The way the Vedas have described the whole universe is quite different from how the modern science explains it.
Everyone is there, but Earth only moving.
Yeah, we see that the earth is moving, the sun is stationary. But here they are saying sun moves from north to south. South to north.
Yeah. So that is the Uttarayana and Dakshinayana. Yeah.
So the kind of solar calendar and lunar calendar.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So that's what. So there is difference in this in the Vedic astronomy and what the modern science is saying. And the Vedic astronomy is based on our subtle existence, and so therefore it won't be easy to grasp it that way. So basically there is Shruti and Anubhava. Shruti and Anubhava. Shruti means what Vedas are saying to us, and we are hearing from the Vedas. Anubhava is what is our practical experience. So there is sometimes the Shruti might be different from Anubhava, but Shruti is based on something that the wise seers in their meditative state have actually seen. And because we are in a conditioned state of existence, we are not able to understand it. And so one of the examples that they give is that of, say the cow dung. Generally, the dung of anything is considered impure, but cow dung is considered pure. So this is something, again the conch shell. Conch shell is what? It is a shell of that. There is some. It is like a bone of something, right? If we look at it from that perspective, generally the bone should not be there offered to the Lord, but this bone is being offered, right? So these things that exist, which is there is some reason there, but in our conditioned state of existence, we are not able to understand it. That is where this Vedic astronomy and the astronomy that is currently there, they are differing, because the astronomy currently there is based on practically trying to see whatever I'm seeing, observing, I'm analyzing it and I'm putting it out, that this is what I'm seeing, with all the telescopes and everything else. But actually, interesting thing is, all these colors that we see, all that is happening because it is coming to the eyes, and the eyes is reacting to it in a different way. So whatever, for example, the sky looks blue, but actually it is not blue. It looks blue because there are different things that are taking place. The light is hitting our eyes at a certain angle, and because of that, we are seeing that particular color. So all these things are happening, and it is whatever is happening on a gross level, we perceive it, and then we say that this is what I have perceived.
Yes.
This is what science is all about. But the Vedas and everything is based on subtle experiences, which not everyone has. So therefore, it is difficult to understand. But of course, the basic knowledge about consciousness, everyone can experience it. But still, people do not understand this basic thing. And I've given this many times. I as a live person and I as a dead person, the body is existing. So what is it that is missing? It is all there. What is missing? It's a consciousness, right? Very simple thing. But somehow, people try to associate that there is some chemical thing that is there, and that chemical has gone, and because of that, the person is dead. So this is. At the end of the day, that is where the Shraddha comes. Shraddha comes into aspect that way. Shraddha is that faith, that faith, and that is Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Krishna says, one who has faith, they attain this divine knowledge. That jnanam is divine knowledge. Tat parat samyatendriyam jnanam labhva param shantim achirenadi gacchati. He says that. So basically, when we know we are eternal, we are in a state of peacefulness, total peacefulness, because there is nothing I have to gain, there is nothing I have to lose. So person actually does not need to do anything. Yastva atma ratireva syad atma triptasya manava atmanyeva cha santushta tasya karyam na vidyate. Krishna says in Bhagavad-Gita that when one takes total bliss in one's own self, and one is situated in oneself, for that person, they do not need to do anything.
But like you said, Bhishma Dev was a devotee and a yogi as well. He
Yes.
has this boon to die at his own will.
Yes. Yeah.
But today, if someone goes to astrologer and find that auspicious time of death, that he doesn't have to come back to the material world again,
Yeah.
and he suicides at that time, then he's not a yogi. He has no bhakti, but he just find out that time.
No, that's basically going against the law of nature.
Like this, and accidentally, if he dies.
Yeah. Accidentally is, or accident is not what one is not. Suicide and accident are two different things,
Like,
right?
So that is also a suicide what Bhishma Dev did, right? He, at his own will, he died.
Yeah, but
So
that's
suicide is dying at their one's own will.
yeah, but that is different in the sense that he was dedicated to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So his this is another thing. What a pure devotee does, other people it won't be easy for them to understand. So that is another thing as well. So we cannot compare that with someone in a conditioned state of existence just giving up their life. Two totally different things. Bhishma Dev was totally surrendered onto Krishna. So basically, Bhishma Dev actually made Krishna to break his own promise. Krishna said, I will not take any weapon. And Bhishma said that tomorrow I'm going to fight in such a way that either all the Pandavas will be destroyed or Krishna will need to take a weapon. So he actually, so what Krishna did was he took a chariot wheel and he was in front of Bhishma. So indirectly he broke the promise. Chariot wheel is actually not a weapon. It's just a chariot wheel.
Yeah.
But he took it. So in that way he has broken and he has still not broken. So this is the power. What I'm trying to say here is we cannot compare what Bhishma Deva did with someone who's in a conditioned state of existence does. There are two poles apart things.
Like it's mentioned here, others have no control. If by accident they leave at an auspicious moment, then they will not return to the cycle of birth and death.
So that chance happens because they have done some kind of devotional service to the Lord. And in certain point, the Lord has given that costless mercy, and therefore the chance, so-called chance is happening. But it's all at the end of the day, it is Lord's plan.
Yes.
But if, like that's what I'm saying, if the person creates that chance by himself,
That
will
also
not
God
become-
wish.
Absolutely not. It is going against the law of nature. If someone is unfortunately doing suicide, they are going against the law of nature. Because nature is giving a particular lifetime to a person. Someone dying from accident is part of that destiny of how one has to go. But someone taking the life on their own is going against the law of the Lord. And that is actually sin. Literally, it is a sin.
then what about that auspicious moment? Will that not be counted?
No, that will not be effective. Absolutely not. Because when one is going against the law of Lord and law of nature, one has to come back. That is absolutely not. Yeah, that won't be applicable. This is all for something that is part of that destiny. Like either one is leaving because one has got some disease or old age or accident. Accident is also, no one goes into an accident knowingly, right? It happens unknowingly. Suddenly something happens and then one dies, unfortunately.
So like now people
That is
are
different.
dying in the war.
Yes, yeah.
That's also accident or destiny.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's all, so there is a individual destiny and there is a collective destiny as well. And it is, it is, but what it is said, like Krishna actually mentions to Arjuna as well, if someone is passing away in the battlefield, they are promoted to the heavenly planets. It is said that. But then it has to be Dharma Yuddha, it should not be.
Terrorist attack.
Exactly, yeah. It's unfortunate. It's very clear, adharma and dharma. It is sometimes it is very clear. Sometimes it is very difficult to
But
understand.
for them, for terrorists, it's their dharma.
Yes, it is their dharma. Yeah,
So they are right at their point.
they would actually say that I am right because my scripture is saying this.
Yes.
And there's no one to rectify the things in that scripture.
Yeah,
So they will be following the same thing.
that is the difference between a radical and a moderate. A moderate will understand the context in which things are said and will invoke those things only when those contexts are proper. The radical will just not think about anything and just do haphazardly, things haphazardly,
So
without
this
putting
is-
much thought to it.
This is also destined that they didn't find those, you can say, acharyas who can, explain them what actually it means.
Probably, yeah. And then it's unfortunate, it's like, it's not, it should not be said that way, but it's like Sura and Asura, like the demons and the demigods kind of thing. It's unfortunately that way. Yeah, what is the difference between Vishnu Bhakta Smrite Devas Asurasta Viparyaya? It is mentioned. The Sura, the people who have qualities as a demigod, they are the devotees of the Lord. And Asuras are all the opposite, Viparyaya. And how do we know the devotee of the Lord? Titikshava Karunika Suhridam Sarvadehinam. One is forbearance, one is merciful, one is the friend of all the living entities, best friend of all, Suhridam, best friend. One for whom no enemy has been born, Ajata Shatrava. Shanta, one is very peaceful. And those are, if someone for whom no enemy has been born, how are they going to do any harm to anyone? Someone who is the best friend of everyone, how are they going to do harm to anyone? They will never do any harm to anyone. Of course, when someone is attacking, you have to defend them. So that is part of dharma as well. Actually, if someone doesn't defend themselves, or the people who are being oppressed, they don't defend them, it actually becomes adharma. Because defending is the real thing to do. But it's really complicated that way, right? Because Krishna actually is mentioning Yudhyasva Nigata Jwara. Krishna is saying to Arjuna that you fight the battle without any lethargy. So someone can misinterpret it, right? And say that the Lord in the so-called Hindu religion is saying his devotee to fight and kill his own relatives. So they can just say that, they can totally misconstrue the whole thing. But you have to understand the context, right? What was the other side doing? And why was it needed? The context is extremely important in every situation. What is the context? And when one understands the context, then the whole paradigm changes. Paradigm shift, it is called. Stephen Covey actually mentions in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he talks about paradigm shift. He gives the example of he's in a park and he sees a father with his kids, and the kids are making a lot of noise and they're fighting with each other, and the father is not doing anything. So he thinks that, what is this? He should take care of his own kids. They're fighting, they're just making noise and they're creating a lot of trouble. Then he goes and asks him, and he says that, I'm just coming now, my wife has died, and I don't know what I should do. Paradigm shift happens in his thought process. Until then, he was kind of saying, what is this guy? When he hears this, he understands his thought process, and then the whole paradigm shift happens. So this paradigm shifting is the thing, and that is also sometimes the costless mercy of the Lord. The paradigm shift is when someone is coming in touch with a pure devotee of the Lord. They get this paradigm shift, right? So they like as I said, there was this person who was a drug addict, but he got addicted to halwa. And then 50 years he is a devotee. That's his paradigm shift. So these things are kind of important as well. I don't know why I went to paradigm shift, but yeah, it's an important point, right? So to understand that,
That could be the thought of Indian government, that they don't kill terrorists, but they keep them in jail. Maybe they'll get their paradigm shift someday. But then it comes back to them when they hijack and they ask them to release them.
Yeah. No, it's tricky. All these things are extremely tricky. It's ideally, these things should not happen, but this is the material world. Material world, and especially the Kali Yuga.
Yeah.
What is it? Manda Sumanda. There is a verse. Prayen Alpayusha Sadhya Kalavasmin Yuge Jana Manda Sumanda Mateo Manda Bhagyahi Upadruta. It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. In the age of Kali, the lifespan is short. Alpayusha. Manda. Unfortunately, one is all in a very, the mind is not functioning properly. One Sumanda Mati. Mati is the intelligence. The intelligence is also not proper. Manda Sumanda Mateo Manda Bhagya. One's fortune is also not proper. And Upadrita. Upadrita means always disturbed. So this is unfortunately the nature of the Kali Yuga. But one of the boons of Kali Yuga is Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Braje. So this is what Shukadeva Goswami says to Parikshit Maharaj. Kale Dosha Nidhe Rajan. He says that in the age of Kali, it is full of lots and lots of difficulties and all. He asti eko mahad gunan. But there is one great boon in this age. Kirtana Deva Krishnasya. So one sings the Kirtana of Krishna, Mukta Sangha. One becomes totally free from all kinds of attachments, Param Vraje. And one attains the supreme position, in connection with Krishna. So I think it's the thing is somehow or other focus the mind on Krishna. And then that's the goal of human form of life. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavad-Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sing the Pranam Mantra. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Pralada Rada Daine.
Pralada Daine.
Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha.
Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha.
Shilatankana Kalare.
Shilatankana Kalare.
Ito Nasimho Parato Nasimho.
Ito Nasimho Parato Nasimho.
Yato Yato Yami Sato Nasimho.
Yato Yato Yami Sato Nasimho.
Bahir Nasimho Hridaye Nasimho.
Bahir Nasimho Hridaye Nasimho.
Narasimhamadim Sharanam Prapade.
Narasimhamadim Sharanam Prapade.
Tavtara Kamalavare Nakha Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Vrinda Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagdish Hare Jai Jagdish Hare Jai Jagdish Hare
Tava Kara Kamala Vare Nakha Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanu Vrinda Keshavadruta Narahari Rupa Jai Jagdish Hare Jai Jagdish Hare Jai Jagdish Hare.
Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev
Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev
Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari
Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari Jaya Narahari
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Bhakta Prahlad
Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Bhakta Prahlad Jaya Prahlad Maharaj Jaya Bhakta Prahlad.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. श्रीपादाय कृष्ण कृष्णावतारे श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे सर्वं श्री कृष्णार्पणमस्तु कृष्णमस्तु हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.